16 animals that can live after death. When the word immortality comes to mind, you'll probably think of some fictional movie where some humans go to the end of the world looking for some magic potion to live forever. Right? But guess what? Some animals have actually figured it out and are able to live forever. Stay tuned for the full list of these unbelievable creatures. Number 16. Turritopsis Doohmii. At the top of our immortal animals list is a very small jellyfish, also scientifically known as Turritopsis Doohmii, or more commonly, the immortal sea creature. This squishy animal has found a way to cheat death by reversing the aging process. Here's how it does it. If it gets sick or injured, it goes back to its polyp stage within 3 days and transforms its cells to be younger, starting all over again. In short, it ages backwards, becomes a baby again, then an adult again. Someone should already get the secret botox formula from these creatures and make a ton of money. Think this is bizarre? Wait until you watch the rest of the animals on this list. Number 15. Brainless frogs. Scientists removed the brains of frogs in experiments, and what they found was shocking. In normal cases, any creature would be considered unliving if their brain was reported to be dead, but not for frogs. In the experiments, scientists noticed that the frogs have the same abilities with or without their brains. They can swim in water, jump from leaf to leaf, reorient themselves if left upside down, and even croak if stroked on their backs. However, the brainless frogs don't survive for long. They soon die after a couple of days. Number 14. Headless snakes. Headless snakes can be quite terrifying, coupled with the ability to still be poisonous. Snakes have the ability to function normally even after you decapitate them. The head can easily lash out at somebody and bite them despite being detached from the rest of the body. So you gotta be careful with these slithering creatures. Just because the head is missing doesn't mean you're out of danger. One guy didn't know this and ended up almost losing his life after being bitten by a python he had decapitated. Number 13. Tough whales. Up until recently, scientists thought whales could only live to 70 years of age. But more recently, they discovered that these massive sea creatures can thrive through centuries. Though not technically immortal, the bowhead whale is the oldest mammal to exist. We added it to our list because living up to more than 200 years is pretty fascinating, and it's definitely more immortal than humans. Some of these animals have scars that were made by weapons from the 1800s. One of them is about 235 years old and has existed through multiple civilizations. With all the humans he has come across, he sure must hate us the most with all the pollution. With all the humans he has come across, he sure must hate us the most with all the pollution he's got to deal with. Number 12. Dinocelluloides radiodurans. Wouldn't it be cool to have the ability to survive dehydration, cold, vacuum areas, and acid? Well, the Dinocelluloides radiodurans, a polyextremophilic bacterium, is the only existing living thing that can. In addition to all that, it is radiation resistant and can resist up to 1.5 million rads of gamma, which is about 3,000 times the amount a human can take. Mad respect to this bacteria. Number 11. Tardigrade. If you thought that wobbly bacteria was cool, wait until you see this next creature. If you try to destroy a tardigrade, you'll quickly realize that you've encountered an immortal animal. This creature simply can't be destroyed. They have the ability to exist for thousands of years, or possibly indefinitely. So how do they do this? Well, they get into a state of cryptobiosis. I hope I said that right. In simple language, this means their body's metabolism comes to a complete halt. They get into some form of hibernation which could last for even 100 years. How cool is that? Number 10. Octopus tentacles. If you ever go to South Korea, you'll probably come across sanakji, one of their most popular meals. If you're curious enough, you'll probably order it, and what you'll get is a bunch of slithering octopus tentacles. The dish is served with a tasty dip and sesame seeds. Presumably, this makes it tasty enough to help you forget the fact that your food is trying to escape from your plate. Even after the octopus is no longer alive, the tentacles still move as though they are. Their tentacles react to contact, and the reflex kicks in, creating a scene that would fit well in a horror movie. Would you want to try this meal? Number 9. Headless fruit flies. In case you spot a headless fruit fly flying around, don't freak out. The female fruit flies have the ability to assume normal behavior even after losing their head. To make it even more awkward, males will still mate with them and they will reproduce while still in this state. They can live for up to 20 days without their head. By the way, humans can also survive without their head, provided they have a spare brain in their chest or something and the lungs work fine still. The Heartless Turtles sounds like a rock band's name, right? Continue watching to find out how this is a reality. Number 8. Turtles. It's not surprising that turtles have made it into this list. In many parks, you will find that some are even 150 years old. We know for sure that they can live long, but what really makes them sort of immortal? If you've watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, you probably learned that the heart can still work for a couple of minutes after being removed from a living body. A couple of minutes is something, but for turtles, they can survive in this state for days. So, what makes this possible? Well, their hearts have pacemakers that take over when the brainstem is not able to. This ensures the heart of a turtle functions normally even after the brain stops. So if you take out the heart of a turtle, if it is preserved in the necessary conditions, it will still function well when returned to the turtle's body. Also, the turtle will still function normally without it, which is so creepy. Number 7. Spiders. Well, it's about to get a little bit freaky. Not exactly what you're thinking, but freaky in a really strange way. If you watch our videos, then you must know that spiders have the worst mating conditions in the entire animal kingdom. The female species control everything, from how long the mating period will last to even ending the whole session right in the middle when they get hungry. How romantic. The female is then left with the male's parts on her body, and the 8-legged freak is sadly forced to leave. Instead of sulking in a corner and writing some sad poetry, they proceed on with life as their work is complete, but soon after, die. As the female heads on to feed on stranded insects, the remaining male parts pump in sperm cells into her. It has the ability to give her thousands of babies despite scientifically not being alive. Now you know who takes on the global award for Freaks of the Universe. Number 6. Chickens. Ever heard of the saying running around like a headless chicken? Well, there is some truth behind it. Chickens can still survive even after dying. If you're wondering how all this is possible, continue watching. Well, the only way a chicken would exist after being beheaded is if the butcher makes a mistake. Sometimes they miss the cerebellum and other parts of the brain that control the bird's functioning. When this happens, the chicken will continue to live up until it starves to death. In one really rare and unique case, one chicken survived for 18 months after death. And that's not the only case recorded in history. Number 5. Salamanders. Salamanders are unique creatures that have fascinated scientists for years. They have the ability to regenerate body parts after they're cut off. This is caused by a special protein within the creatures that generate new cells when needed. Humans have it too, but in smaller quantities. We use it mostly to heal wounds and generate new skin. Wouldn't it be so cool if we could also generate new limbs? I mean, chop off a finger with no pain and after a few weeks you'd have a brand new one. Damn! Number 4. Flatworms. These worms are the masters of the universe. If you chop its head off, it grows a new head. If you chop off the tail, a new one grows in the place of the old one. If you cut it into 5 pieces, 5 new worms will develop from each piece. Their body parts don't age and they only die if they contract a disease. Scientists in Harvard have a library of 20,000 worms which were all created from one flatworm. Number 3. Squid. Similar to the octopus, the tentacles of a squid still live on even after death. This has turned into a delicacy for people in Asia who enjoy seeing their food squirm right before they eat it. The tentacles of this sea creature will move frantically once someone pours soy sauce on it. This doesn't mean it's still alive, but rather the electrolytes are still passing through its limbs. I'm not sure I want to put that in my mouth. What do you guys think? Apparently it's one of the tastiest seafood meals in Japan, but also the deadliest. If you don't chew well enough, the tentacles could get attached to your gut or even block your airways if they're in the wrong way. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. Today's photo was sent to us by a subscriber, so if you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it over to us. We might even feature it in a future video. Number 2. Cockroaches. And now we have the most impressive immortal living creature on this earth. This insect is so fascinating that scientists are still uncovering new facts about it today. In case you're not in the know, let's give you a few facts about roaches. They can hold their breath for more than 40 minutes. They can run 3 miles an hour, including the newborns. They are believed to be 280 million years old. They like beer. And we're not kidding you on that one. Can live without food and water for a whole month. If none of that shocked you, roaches have the ability to survive without their heads for 30 days. They are also one of the very few organisms that can survive a nuclear war. Let's just give it up to them. Roaches are the coolest thing on this planet. Number 1. Bees. While a dead bee can't actively fly, the stinger still functions normally. The part that contains the venomous substance isn't controlled by the brain, but impulses of the creature. So even after it dies, it can still sting you. If you're thinking of playing around with a dead bee, then you better think again. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's it for today. Let us know which one was your favorite.